Hi, everybody. This is Cirina Catania with OWC Radio. We're at NAB 2019, and I have Chris Vanderschaaf with me. And I was just telling him I'm really disappointed because I can't smash anything today. I was really hoping that you might have your cameras with you, and we could do something really radical. I don't know what it would be, an egg or coffee
like
falling. Or,
that looks cool. Yeah, we could light an egg on fire and drop it.
Yeah, 1,000 frames per second. So in case you haven't gotten the drift, Chris is an amazing cinematographer that specializes in slow motion footage.
Thank you.
And we love it. We've been following you for a while now.
That's awesome. That's
so
cool.
and OWC brought you into the booth, which I'm really excited about because you use some of their products.
I do. Yeah, they're super awesome.
So, but first of all, tell me, how did you get started in all this? Go way back to when you were a little boy.
Okay.
I want to know all your secrets.
Way back. Well, I never, that was a long time ago. I never actually was initially interested in like the film world and anything. I sort of stumbled into it. So I had a friend, it's kind of a funny story, who worked at a television station. And I didn't even know we had a television station in that town. And one night.
So it was obviously a small town.
It was a small town, okay. where I originally started.
Where was
it? It was on the coast of Oregon, a little place called Brookings. Probably never heard of it. It's very small.
Nope, haven't.
Yeah.
I have now.
Oh, yeah, now you have, yeah. And so they had a TV show, and a camera operator, did not show up. And so he called me, he says, hey, we've got this cool live music TV show. I know you have a camera. Like, can you come operate? I was like, oh, that sounds fun. So I went there, and I did, like, second cam for the show. And the owner happened to be there, and he said, hey, you did a pretty good job. Like, do you think you ever want to do this as a career? And I said, you're going to pay me to play with cameras? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, cool, I'll start whenever you want. And so I quit my job and started the next day.
Oh, that's awesome.
And that was the inception of it all. And I got obsessed with cameras and filmmaking, and that all eventually led into Phantom cameras, because everything just looks so cool in slow-mo. Because your eye can't see that slow. So even though something might look really cool, when you actually get to see it played back at like 1,000 frames a second, it just blows your mind.
It's pretty awesome.
It's amazing. So
tell me what cameras you were using in the beginning before you got to the Phantom.
Beta cams, High 8 mini DV, like a long time ago, all tape media.
Yeah, I remember mini DV coming out, and everybody told me, we'll never use that, and then they did.
Yeah.
Right? Or like the companies that would say, we only shoot on beta, and then you go out and you shoot mini DV, and then you transfer it. Did you ever do that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I did. Don't tell anybody.
We did lots of beta. We did Super VHS. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh, awful. That was awful.
Yeah, we did all deck-to-deck editing, and this was like right before
rock and roll.
The first non-linear editing came out, and so all of that was like revolutionary back then, and and then it moved into the small tapes, which were cool, and then now everything's tapeless and digital, and it's just crazy how fast everything changes.
Did you have a hard time with workflow for tapeless stuff? Was that a big
in the beginning? It was kind of weird. It was kind of strange because you had when you shot stuff on tape, you had like your archive already there.
Absolutely.
And
so you look on the shelf and
and then it was like learning how to archive a whole bunch of stuff and still keep original copies and duplicate copies.
And triplicate. If you're smart.
But we all adapted pretty quick.
Yeah.
So.
Wow. So in terms of workflow, how much? Well, we'll get into that later.
Yeah.
I want to keep going on.
Sure.
I'm just so excited. I'm skipping around here because my mind is going to all these visual places. You're using primarily the Phantom cameras now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. I've been specializing
in Phantom.
Yeah, in Phantom work for probably 4 years now.
Wow. Those are expensive cameras.
They're not cheap. Yeah.
That's a big investment.
Yeah.
So who are some of your clients?
I work primarily for agencies, and I mean, I've been freelancing forever, so it's like you have friends that are working with a different agency and you work with all of them, but some of the cooler jobs I've done would be like we did some Ferrari stuff last year, which was awesome. We had a huge crew of a bunch of different people, and we had helicopters and chase cars, and then I had the Phantom, and we did a really sweet shot where the new Ferrari that came out last year comes in and sort of fishtails and kicks up gravel towards the camera.
I saw that.
That was really
you?
fun. Yeah,
That's
awesome. Yeah. That was cool. So
I love that one.
I was just like on the ground trying not to get run over.
Yeah, and trying.
But it looks sweet. So, and others, a lot of agency stuff. Do a lot of tabletop food things for anybody really. People like AeroGuard, Food Network, people that specialize, Nike, Adidas. They do a lot of like artsy stuff with their shoes, or athletes, you know, running and doing football, and like close up of cleats, like kicking up dirt, and you know, anything that can really be accentuated in slow-mo. That's usually the type of work I get hired for with some creative agency or something.
So I'm still fixating on all the gravel from the Ferrari shot,
yeah.
and I'm wondering, you know, like on Stargate, when the wind machines were blowing, I don't know if you remember that scene.
Yeah.
We had to have acrylic in front of us.
Oh yeah.
Did you have protection?
For that one, we actually didn't set up like a barrier of any kind. We do that a lot. Like if it's an explosion, you have like blast panels or acrylic panels. That one we actually just used clear filters, because what we did was we made our own gravel out of like this soft, it's almost like the squishy playground type rubber that you see when you're walking around a playground. I don't know what it's actually made out of, but you can buy it, and then we just spray painted it and cut it into chunks and then mixed it in with some dirt. So it looked like gravel chunks, but it's all soft, rubbery foam, so it wasn't really that dangerous. But it seems
all right,
like
who
it would
thought
be.
of that? Did you think of that?
No, the DP. He's my good
DP
friend.
did.
Yeah, his name's Nate Garofalos. He's over at the GSS booth.
So he's got the weird DIY.
Yeah,
let's make this work
that was a
kind of
really
brain.
cool idea that he came up with, and it worked out really well.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. So
I wish we could have done that on Stargate. I was breathing that dust for months after that.
Yeah, some of that stuff is pretty gnarly.
And like in one of the sets, they closed off all the vents, and they're dumping diatomaceous earth on us.
Yeah.
You know, to create the,
Yeah, not the healthiest.
You know, everybody, people think the production business is like romantic. It's, there's stuff that goes on behind the scenes that nobody ever hears about.
Yeah.
So tell me about some of the DIY stuff you do with some of your shots. Like describe the shot and tell me what you did to get it.
I'm trying to think of a cooler one. So a lot of times now, like I try to do a lot of stuff on Instagram, and I try to do things that maybe other people can try to replicate, you know, with slow-mo. And so we do a lot of cool setups with, you know, custom-made rigs, you know, to like pop things in the air, or, you know, splash together. That's really fun. It's just entertaining. It's like,
I love that
because
stuff.
you try to make something that looks pretty ordinary look not ordinary, just like super epic in some sort of way. So that helps with the slow-mo. But if you can get like, you know, just even something normal like coffee beans or, you know, peanuts and candy, and, you know, you put that on like a piece of plexiglass, and then you hit it from the bottom and it'll explode up into the air. Like it's,
That's
you know,
cool.
some really cool VFX shot. Or you can make like a pneumatic rig, which is basically just like PVC pipes glued together that you can compress with. You can put a bunch of air in it, and then you open a valve and it'll shoot stuff out. So it's almost like a lot of people used to make potato guns like back in the day and just, you know, go shoot weird stuff. But it's like that kind of thing, but you're just shooting other things out of it and then recording it in slow-mo.
Okay, I want to know. You have to tell me, when you were a little boy, did you like fill water balloons and throw them from the top floor or something? What did you do for?
Oh yeah, I did a lot of weird stuff when I was.
Like what? I want to know.
Like that. Like we would throw water balloons off stuff. Oh yeah, all the time. We would always like. I've always been into like action sports, so we would always do things with like, you know, skateboards and BMX bikes, and all of my friends, we were always getting into trouble and trying to make something and launch it off of something and run into something or smash something. And now it's just, I do it with cameras too.
And
so.
you get paid to do it.
Yeah, which is amazing.
Come on, you're living the dream life.
Oh, I really am, honestly.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
I want your
amazing.
life.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I'm happy with mine. But
Well,
I like participating.
Yeah,
I like
no, I'm
watching
super
it.
glad. We actually did a really cool one where we made a potato gun and put a wooden bullet into it, which is basically, it's just a dowel, like, you know, like a dowel rod sort of shaped on the front end to be more rounded. And then we shot it through a whole bunch of like vases and, you know, ceramic fixtures, and just blew the crap out of all of them. And it was awesome. And we did that for like a whole day. Yeah. we went down to like Goodwill or something and bought like 20 different things. And then we just like loaded it up, and you spray your like hairspray in there, and then you light it up, and it's like a huge little I don't know, smash gun for just breaking stuff.
Do you actually have a robot that you use, or
Yes.
Yeah, can you?
Yeah.
Because I was looking at that and I was going, okay, who built that?
Sure,
Who
yeah.
programs that?
Yeah,
That's
so-
really cool.
Yeah, a lot of time, pretty much the only robot that I've ever shot with is the Kira robot from Motorized Precision.
Oh,
So they're
okay.
based out of Portland, Oregon, and they make high-speed motion control robots. Because when you're doing something at 1,000 frames a second, the camera has to move so fast to be able to actually see the motion that you
Yeah,
need a
'cause it's
robot like that. Yeah, it's like 1 second. So you're
Yeah.
taking like a 30-pound camera and moving it from here in an arc like 4 feet away in like 1 second. So the robots can go like 4 meters a second. They can move really fast. So, you set up this something to pop in the air while it's on fire, and then the robot whips around, and then when you see it, it gives you this insane 3D parallax. But yeah, those are the guys, Motorized Precision out of Portland, and they're amazing.
And do you have somebody that comes from their company that programs the movement
Yeah,
for
we
you?
all work
'Cause I
together.
wouldn't know how to do that. I wouldn't
Yeah,
look at
it's
that thing
actually
anyway.
they made software called MP Studio, which is
Okay.
actually very simple to use versus some of the other stuff out there is a lot more technical. You have to actually almost like spreadsheet type of stuff. You really have to know what you're doing. MP Studio is a lot more simplified for people that might not know any of that to come in, and you actually control it with an Xbox controller. You can move the robot and then save the keyframes, and it's a pretty quick learning curve. But there usually is quite a few of us on set, so you'll have a dedicated person to move the robot and a dedicated person like me to run the camera, and then a lighting technician and all that. So we do it as a team for sure.
I saw I saw some footage of you outside with I don't know what were you shooting? You were cutting some fruit or something outside.
Oh, okay.
On a
Yeah, we've done a
table?
lot of weird stuff like that. We've done some with the robots recently where we attached a knife to a robot and made it cut stuff.
I saw that. Yes,
that was
that's
cool.
the one.
That was kind of frightening, but pretty awesome at the
Yeah.
same time.
So don't stand anywhere near you
Oh
when you're
no,
doing
no!
that
There's a
one.
lot of
That's
safety
scary.
protocol on set. Everybody knows exactly where not to stand, and we make sure. It probably looks crazier than it is, but we're very safe.
So have you ever had anything go really crazy, terrible? Oh my gosh, that was an epic failure.
Not with the robot.
You're really lucky.
Yeah, no, we've been really we've all been doing it for a really long time. So, we're all pretty wild and we like to have fun, but we're very
Yeah.
familiar with safety, and we're like, we
course.
always, even though we like to light things on fire, everybody knows because they've been doing it for 10 plus years, like we kind of know our limitations
Yeah.
on what's doable and safe,
Yeah.
but still looks crazy.
Yeah. So what's your favorite shot? Do you have a favorite shot?
God, see, that's so hard.
I know. It's like asking me which of
yeah.
my children I love the most. Forget about it.
Right.
But like, what are some of the ones that are
Yeah.
highlights for you
Yep.
as a filmmaker?
Yep. One of my favorites would be one of the original smashing shots we ever did, where we had my buddy come out and he smashed a glass of milk with a sledgehammer, because it just makes the most epic pattern that I've almost ever seen. I don't know. I'd have to have a reference to show you, but it's pretty insane. It made this really cool, explosion, and it looked. I don't know. That's why it's one of my favorites. And we put a cookie in his mouth, and it was like cookies and milk. It was super nerdy. We were so weird. But everybody loved it. That's one of my favorites. The Ferrari shot's pretty cool. That's a pretty great one. The robot stuff is probably one of my favorite, or some of my favorites. We did a recent one. We did one with the probe lens. It looks kind of like a mosquito nose. It's a super skinny, long lens.
Oh,
and
I
we
saw
stuck
that.
it inside
Yes.
of a champagne flute and had the robot pull it out while we were dumping liquid into it. And so it's a really unique perspective that you don't really get to see, because it's like you're literally inside the glass, but it's not 3D at all. It's actual footage. So that was definitely one of my
Did you
newest
think of
favorites.
that?
We kind of all just brainstorm weird
Wow.
stuff, and we do a lot of stuff on the fly. We'll have like an idea in mind, and then we'll go, "Oh, that's kind of cool." Like, "Oh, but what about this? What if we stuck that inside of there? What if we, moved it over here, lit this on fire?" So it's definitely like a group.
So, but I saw that shot, and I was wondering how you did that without getting the needle nose or whatever it was. What do you call it?
It's a probe lens.
Okay, the probe
Yeah.
lens. Did you not? Did it get wet?
Oh yeah, it's waterproof.
But it's okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah. The
Okay.
barrel of the lens is waterproof.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't know that, and I'm going, okay, which lens did they now just
Yeah.
destroy?
Yeah, you can. It's over there. They have a booth in Central Hall. It's actually that way.
And you can see the
It's-
shot?
yeah, it's playing on the screen, and you can also see they have it submerged in a fish tank, so you can go like.
Okay, that's
it's pretty cool.
awesome. Yeah. So
Yeah, it's pretty
what's the
fun.
most difficult shot you've ever done? Like the one where the client said, "I want this," and you went, "Uh-oh, I don't know if I
Ooh.
can do that."
That's tough. We don't.
Oh, see, that's what happens when somebody's really good at what they do. You just don't say, "I can't do it." You
Yeah,
go,
we usually
"Okay."
don't say that. I mean, unless it's like incredibly dangerous or something that we shouldn't do. We're going to try to find a way to make it happen anyway.
Don't you hate when somebody says you shouldn't do this? Don't tell me I shouldn't do something.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it
right?
anyway.
We're just going to do it.
Yeah, I'm just going to go off and do it.
The robot stuff is probably the trickier, because it's complicated, especially when you have multiple things going on at the same time. Like you've got pneumatic rigs exploding and fire and then a robot moving. And so that can be definitely more complicated than just sitting there on a tripod pouring something. So, but yeah, I'd have to think about that. It'd be hard to think about like what the most difficult one ever was. So
yeah. So one of the first times I had a Phantom camera on the set was several of them on the Chasing Lightning for National Geographic, and we talked about we were tethered. Can you talk about the evolution of the Phantom cameras that you've used over the years?
Oh man, a lot of the older ones, when you had to tether like Ethernet into like a laptop and run, it's called Phantom Control Software. Wow, it is so
tough.
slow. Yeah. It's a lot more for industrial use and scientific testing, and that's kind of what most people use that for. But nowadays, all the newer models like the Flex 4K has an incredibly easy menu system. It's all adjustable on the camera. But my favorite way to operate now is with my phone. So there's a Phantom app. Yeah, some operators in LA, they made one. Yeah, it's really cool.
Wow, what's it called?
It's called iPhantom. Yeah, it's called iPhantom.
iPhantom, I love that.
It's amazing. That's what it looks like.
Oh, wow.
And it just...
okay, let me see.
Go for it. And then if you hit that menu button...
frames per second, white balance, game resolution, and mode loop, and you're on loop. That's awesome.
Exactly.
And then you get your different tools.
Yep. So this is all the readouts of the camera. And then when you go into menu, you can see every setting of the camera. So if you just look through there, you can actually change everything, the ISO, the white balance, the shutter angle, how many frames a second you're shooting, and you can actually trigger it and record it and play it back and save it all on your phone.
Wow.
Like, it's amazing.
That's amazing. I think our camera on Chasing Lightning was one of the first times the Phantom, the industrial version, was being used for film and television.
Yeah.
It was really, I mean, the cameras are beautiful, but that was tough.
Yeah.
And weather situation on top of everything else.
Yep. Yeah.
So hail, rain, lightning.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this is awesome.
It's
the
incredible.
iPhantom app.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really fast because there's other ways to control it. They have their own like Phantom control unit, which is like a little breakout box. But the app it's just incredibly fast and intuitive. I don't know. It's definitely my favorite way to record with it. So, I mean, technology just keeps advancing.
I know.
It's insane.
Does it make you feel like you're growing up? Could you please tell me never to grow up?
Yeah.
I don't want to grow up.
Don't do it.
That would be very sad.
We can smash stuff like forever.
That would be really sad. Talk to me about your workflow.
Yeah.
So do you deliver the raw media and your client puts it into... So if you're shooting for commercial, you deliver the raw media? Or tell me about your workflow.
So usually what we'll do is if it's like, a pretty large set, they'll have a DIT. So we'll be shooting whatever. And then when the mags are getting close to being full, we'll deliver that to the DIT and swap out mags. And he'll just dump all the raw stuff and then back up a couple copies and then take it. And then we'll get the mags back. We usually don't erase the mags unless we have to, so that way we always retain a copy just in case something happens.
So I'll bet they take one look at the speed of that Thunderblade and they go, holy heck, oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's super fast. It's really good. I'm always bringing the Envoys or the Thunderblade or something with me.
Those are fast. I can edit right off the Envoy.
Yeah, I can edit Flex 4K raw files on the Envoy.
Which is
it's
tiny.
Insane. It's super tiny.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's literally like the size of my phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but I can like
even
hold
a little smaller than
yeah,
your
even
phone.
a little smaller, and I can get 1 or 2 terabytes of stuff on there, and it downloads so much faster than just throwing like a traditional hard drive. I don't know exactly how much faster, but it's way faster.
Oh.
I do not like to offload to a normal hard drive if I can.
I won't do it
if I can help it.
I would like.
Yeah, it's terrible. Well, because usually you're dumping like a whole terabyte of footage, and they want you to start shooting again.
Yeah.
So it's like you just
And
gotta
the entire
offload this
crew
fast.
is waiting. So
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
So
Well, the DITs are loving this stuff. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So have you had stuff that you've done just for you that you've put in your film? So what's the workflow when you do that?
Okay, so when we're doing that, it's a lot of it's the smashing stuff or lighting things on fire or whatever. Or we do cool stuff with action sports friends where we'll light their skateboards on fire and they'll do 3 flips and it's friggin' sweet. Like they're awesome. They're into it. They're super rad. But yeah, so you'll do that, and then so we'll just offload our own stuff, through the software, and then we'll archive everything. So I always have the little Envoy with me at least, and so I'll rip that off super fast, and then I'll start making a backup copy on the Thunder Bay. But then I'll just throw it right into the computer because you can actually edit the raw files with Premiere or DaVinci or anything and make, if you want to, ProRes copies. But I don't even do that now with the SSDs. I just edit them right off the SSDs because I don't have to. I can I can have it, and then it's like full res everything. I don't have to worry about it.
Fast enough now.
Yeah, it's insane. It's really cool.
Remember the old days when you had to go? I'm not even going to say the word.
It was so bad.
When you cut and then you had to go online and offline, and oh my gosh, the offline cut, and then you would have to have an editor that's specialized in the online version, and oh my gosh, and then matching. There's always something that
it's quite a workflow. Yeah.
Oh
I love not having to do that.
Yeah.
Because it's just you can just pump things out so fast.
It's a changing world.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts.
So what is something that's on your bucket list that you have not done yet?
Oh man, like Phantom-wise?
Like
shoot,
anything
wise.
Well, like first of all, Phantom wise. Okay, so this new 2,000 frames per second camera.
Yeah,
none of us have had a chance to use it yet.
I haven't even touched it.
But like, what would you do with that?
I would smash some stuff. I would definitely do something with liquids because liquids look really cool at 2,000 frames a second. So
why don't you get a water balloon?
Right?
Get a water balloon. And track it.
Yeah, that would be sweet. It would be cool because it's the VO series, so it's like, it's a little box. It's like this, but,
oh, really?
I
haven't seen it yet.
Little
it's brand
square.
New.
Yeah. So they have multiple VO series cameras, and this is the new one that we haven't played with. It's similar to the size of a Thunder Bay, so it's like a little square. Right. But that would be cool to put on a robot and hit somebody in the face with a water balloon while the robot's like whipping around them or something.
That would be fun.
That could look pretty cool.
I'm not doing that for you.
Okay.
You get somebody else. Sorry.
I'm sure I can find somebody.
No, I like you, but I'm not doing that.
Right. That would be awesome.
It would be awesome.
Yeah.
So on your life bucket list, because you've done so much, what's on your life bucket list? Something that you would absolutely love to do that you've not done?
That's so tough. Like, it'd probably be going somewhere with a helicopter, super crazy, and filming it with a Phantom camera. Like, we're actually talking about doing that. It's hard to put. There's not a lot of Phantom cameras in gimbals because they're so massive.
Oh, they're
starting to be now.
Yeah.
With like the VO 4K and stuff.
Right.
People have put them on drones now. But it would be really cool to find some sort of crazy scenario.
Okay, I've got something for you.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, Teddy, you're sitting over there. I want you to go tell the guys at OWC. I want him to meet Florian Wagner and get in that helicopter shooting African waters while Florian's doing the stills. You can do the Phantom, right? Wouldn't that be awesome?
Let's do it.
Get you in the helicopter shooting in Africa, shooting on African waters type project. That would be amazing. Okay, am I going to get myself in trouble for suggesting that? But I think that would be totally rad.
Yeah, I'm super into it.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
See, dream come true.
There we go.
Right here on
Done.
OWC Radio, Creative Club. We are here to make creative people's dreams come true.
I
mine
love it.
included, right?
Yeah,
I'll tell you mine. You know what mine is?
No, what's yours?
This is silly, okay? But my bucket list, I've done everything on my bucket list, and I'm about to do a new one. But the one thing I've never had, like I've come close, I've never had a cover on National Geographic magazine.
Really?
So I'm putting
That's
that
a good
out there.
bucket list goal.
Okay, I've shot for their website.
Yeah.
I've been in the magazine.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
done their film. I've never been on the cover. So, okay, I'll work on yours if you
Okay.
work on mine. Okay?
Sounds good. Deal.
That's so awesome. This is Cirina Catania with OWC Radio. We're here at the Creative Club at NAB 2019. I'm talking with Chris Vanderschaaf because he and I are both connected very strongly to OWC. I mean, we bring all kinds of creatives on this show, but I just love people that smash things. And so next time you come on, we're actually going to build something so we can smash something really fun.
That'd be awesome.
Thank you for doing this. This
You're
is
welcome.
awesome.
Thanks for having me.
You have a great NAB.
Thank you.
Take care.